Another XRP update. Let's get into it. Recently, DTCC confirmed that they are launching a tokenization service in the second half of 2026. So they're putting their securities on distributed ledger technology. And let me explain why that's important. DTCC is the reason that your stock trade settles when you buy, for example, Amazon, or sell a mutual fund, or if you move money into your retirement account. So every single one of those transactions flows through DTCC's infrastructure. They're not a bank, they're not an exchange. They are the plumbing underneath the entire American financial market, which is trillions of dollars every single day. And almost nobody outside of Wall Street knows that they even exist. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that and why this is so important. Every single week, I feel like we're hearing more and more news about XRP. I want you to tell me in the chats if you are holding on for dear life, or are you fatigued? Are you frustrated? Are you ready to sell and capitulate your position? Where are you emotionally with this? I would love to know if you are excited about the news, or if it frustrates you that so much news is coming out and still XRP's price is suppressed. Now, and I want to break this down a little more so you can have an understanding of what has transpired recently. Now, let me give you a picture of what DTCC is and why Ripple Prime being inside of it is incredible. It's something that we need to talk about. So let's explain this. Every single time you buy a stock, something has to happen on the back end that most people are not, of course, thinking about because they're not into the backside of making a trade. Well, to help you understand, the trade executes on an exchange, but the actual transfer of ownership, meaning the settlement, well, that happens somewhere else, meaning a clearinghouse, an institution that sits between the buyer and the seller and guarantees that the transaction is complete. That is what DTCC does. And they do it for the majority of American securities transactions every single day. So when you buy a share of a stock from Fidelity or Schwab or any brokerage in America, that transaction runs through DTCC's infrastructure before it is finalized. This is every ETF, every bond, every mutual fund redemption. The scale is almost impossible to comprehend because it is invisible to almost everyone it touches. Now, here's what happened somewhere around March of 2026. Ripple acquired a company called Hidden Road. Hidden Road was a prime brokerage, an institutional financial service firm clearing over $3 trillion annually for more than 300 institutional clients. So Ripple rebranded it to Ripple Prime, and then Ripple Prime appeared in DTCC's NSCC directory. Now, that means that Ripple Prime is now operating inside the same clearing infrastructure that Goldman Sachs and JPMorgan Chase use every single day. And that is operationally with XRP Ledger integrated into its framework for faster settlement finality, with also RLUSD, Ripple's stablecoin, approved as collateral within the same structure. And then DTCC confirmed that they're rolling out a tokenization service in the second half of 2026. So they're going to record securities on distributed ledger technology while keeping their existing centralized systems intact. So the goal is going to be, of course, faster settlement, easier asset transfer, lower costs, more efficiency across the post-trade process altogether. Now, think about what that combination really means.